to the speakers. So Senator De Lima is recognized.
Thank you. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, it is my honor as chairperson of the Committee on Electoral Reform and People's Participation to report back to you that Senate Bill number 1108 has been considered, studied, and publicly heard. After taking into account the inputs of the Commission on Elections and other stakeholders, we are now recommending that Senate Bill number 1108, introduced by Senator Joseph Victor G. Ejercito, be approved with amendments. Before I joined public service, I was an election lawyer, advocating for clean and honest elections. Advancing then the interests of my clients, I made sure that no mockery of the election process would take place and that they do not become victims of election cheating or violence. As an election lawyer, I served a number of governors, vice governors, congressmen, congresswomen, mayors, vice mayors, councilors, and even barangay chairmen. I am honored to have served as an election lawyer to the likes of then Senator Raul Roco, then Senate President Manny Villar, and now Senate President Coco Pimentel. Incidentally, Senator Pimentel's case was an eye-opener on the intensity and gravity of the electoral fraud and irregularities that transpired in the 2007 national and local elections. In the end, over 300,000 fake ballots were found to have been included in the tally of the elections, and which were consequently invalidated by the Senate Electoral Tribunal in its 2011 decision of that protest case. I also served as the election lawyer of Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, who, during the 2007 elections, was not a favorite of Malacanang, so to speak. Yes, I advocated for Senator Alan Peter at a time when the might of the entire administration was bearing heavily down on him. Fighting for truth and justice, I believed then that it was unfair and unjust if he was deprived of the chance to serve the public as senator simply because he was critical of the Arroyo administration. Mr. President, it is exactly because of my experience as an election lawyer that I understand the need for the imposition of stricter penalties for the commission of election offenses, stricter than those already provided for in Batas Pambansa Bilang 881, or the Omnibus Election Code of the Philippines, and Republic Act number 8189, or the Voters Registration Act of 1996. Indeed, the idea of being imprisoned for 6 years and 1 day, but not more than 12 years, as proposed to be increased from the current imposable penalty of only 1 year to not more than 6 years for the commission of an election offense, would be a deterrent against the perpetration of electoral fraud or irregularities. Aside from the singular increase in the penalty for the commission of election offenses, this prospective law that seeks to amend the Omnibus Election Code and RA 8189 also provides for the following. Number one, if the offender is an officer or employee of the COMELEC, the AFP, the PNP, or any other security force, including paramilitary units, he shall be punished with a maximum penalty of 12 years. 2, if the election offense is committed through and attended by violence, coercion, intimidation, force, or threats, the guilty offender shall suffer a higher penalty of imprisonment of 12 years and 1 day at the minimum, up to 20 years at the maximum. 3, the political party, coalition, or party list to which the guilty offender belongs shall be penalized with a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos, increased from the current 10,000 pesos as part of the civil liability incurred for the commission of the election offense. Number 4, in case of a prisoner illegally released from any penitentiary or jail, the director of prisons, provincial warden, keeper of the jail or prison, or persons who are required by law to keep said prisoner in their custody and the subject prisoner shall suffer the penalty of reclusion perpetua if the prisoner illegally released commits any act of intimidation, terrorism, or interference in the election. 5, for violations of prohibited acts under RA 8189 or the Voters Registration Act, the same increase in penalties shall apply including the graver penalties when committed with and attended by violence, coercion, intimidation, force, or threats, or when committed by an officer or employee of the COMELEC, the AFP, the PNP, or any other security force, including paramilitary units. 6, if a felony penalized under the revised penal code is committed in connection with an election or political exercise, the election-related element shall be appreciated as an aggravating circumstance in the commission of said felony. And number 7, if the commission of the election offense likewise constitutes a felony under the revised penal code, the offender shall be prosecuted separately and concurrently under the Omnibus Election Code and the revised penal code. And perhaps most significantly, Mr. President, these proposed amendments will ensure higher success rates in the prosecution of such offenses, considering that these higher penalties will qualify potential witnesses to avail of the benefits of Republic Act number 6981 or the Witness Protection, Security, and Benefit Act, which under Section 3, Paragraph A of said law, as it currently stands, requires that, quote, the offense in which the witness testimony will be used is a grave felony as defined under the revised penal code or its equivalent under special laws, unquote. The proposed increase in the penalty would precisely make it a grave felony and therefore qualified under the WPP of any witness to avail of the benefits thereunder. All these are imperative amendments to our existing body of election laws because our electoral process is sacred. It is the cornerstone of democracy itself. Severe as it may seem, the gravity of the penalties in the proposed bill is commensurate to the crime committed, especially for COMELEC officials and government security forces, since they are the ones responsible of ensuring a free, orderly, honest, peaceful, and credible elections. This bill, therefore, pushes further against the culture of corruption and bantay salakay in our electoral processes, against the practice of the guardians becoming the culprits of fraud and cheating. Admittedly, increasing penalties alone will not solve the problem of cheating in our electoral system. So long as only a few are prosecuted and jailed, and that is the reality now, election officials will continue to be corrupted by candidates and their election operators. This is why the Committee on Electoral Reforms and People's Participation has lined up a series of bills proposed by our distinguished colleagues in this August chamber, measures that will in totality contribute to ensure effective election law enforcement, if not introduce an overhaul of the way we conduct our elections, including the reform of the political party system, the enactment of an anti-political dynasty law, and a reconfiguration of election campaign financing towards the democratization of the donors base and transparency on large campaign financiers. Needless to say, this proposed bill is but a first step towards what we envision as a modernized political party and electoral system geared towards greater public participation in the essential exercise of the people's political right to determine the future they want for themselves. But first, we must start with the basics of remedying the anomaly in our antiquated election laws by putting more teeth on the penalties that were formulated long ago in a milieu and an era very different from our own. From manual elections, we have shifted to automated elections, thus also shifting forms of election cheating from vote padding and vote shaving during the canvassing process to pre-election day election violations on campaign propaganda, as well as massive vote buying. Ang biro po ngayon ay imbes na sa mga abogado at operator na nagbubuhos ng perang pandaya, ay inuubos na lang sa vote buying ang pera ng mga kandidato. Totoo man ito o hindi, ang punto ay nag-iba na ang kalakaran sa larangan ng ating halalan, kasama na dito ang mga pamamaraan sa pandaraya. Ang sagot natin dito ay ang walang tigil na pagrepaso ng ating mga batas para umakma sa umiiral na realidad ng ating panahon. Kung nasaan ang kalapastangan sa pandaraya, doon tayo dapat matunton ng sambayanan nag-uusisa at umuusig sa mga natitira pang mga politiko na hindi naniniwala sa pamamaraan ng demokrasya, ngunit sa kabila ay natutuwa pang umupo sa posisyon na nakamit sa pamamagitan ng pandaraya at pagnakaw sa hatol ng sambayanan. Tapusin na po natin ang ganitong uri ng politika at mga ganitong uri ng mga politiko. Ngunit sa kasalukuyan, dagdagan muna natin ang taon ng pagbilanggo sa mga mandaraya, opisyal man ng gobyerno o kandidato, para mabulok naman ang kanilang kampon sa bilangguan at subukan nilang doon tumakbo bilang mga gang leader na mga katulad nilang mga pusakal. Dahil mas malala pa ang kanilang kasalanan sa bayan bilang mga naturing na magnanakaw, pumapatay at gumagahasa sa ating demokrasya. In the words of Senator Ejercito, the author of the bill, quote, "It is of vital importance to ensure that election results represent the sovereign will of the people and not manipulated by individuals who desire the seat of power to protect their personal interests," end of quote. We must stand against unscrupulous individuals who allow themselves to be conspirators in the travesty of the electoral process. In light of the foregoing, I hereby appeal to my colleagues to lend their support for these imperative amendments to our body of election laws. Marami pong salamat.